As an animator, you're really thinking one frame at a time, and that, of course, is the definition of what animation is. It's created one frame at a time. But it could be drawings, it could be made with puppets, or clay, or computer, almost anything.
Now most people actually are familiar with animation being computerized. Before, it was essentially flip books, things that rely on the persistence of vision. It all actually stems from puppets and trying to make sure that these inanimate objects actually assume this illusion of life. Animation is drawn one frame at a time, and by flipping the drawings, we create that illusion of movement in life.
Hand-drawn animation is pencil, pen, any ink. It is one frame at a time, setting these images below a camera and photographing them for at least one frame. One after another, they create this illusion that they're coming alive. You also have clay or stop motion.
With that, what they do is like actual clay model. Each movement is done one, and then you step away and photograph that, and then move it again incrementally.
CGI, or computer graphics imagery, is doing the same thing. It's imagery made on a computer, but I will say it's made by hand yet. You can't just type in make film, enter. It has to be an artist who is bringing this piece of equipment in the same way they would use a pencil or a piece of clay. Sometimes it is hard to evaluate many different mediums that animation brings. How do you say one is better than the other one? But it's sort of like visiting a museum and there's watercolor, there's oil paintings, there's acrylic, there's sculpture. How can you say one is better than another? One might speak to me for whatever reason, whereas that one over there, which is just as well done, wouldn't. And I think that's the only way you can judge anything, is by what moves you, what speaks to you emotionally.
Storytelling is one of the things that is in common with all these animation disciplines. Moving anything and making things behave is great. But most of us are in the business because of storytelling. It's how the story affects you as just an audience member.
First and foremost, when I'm watching an animated film, I just think, do I care? Am I moved? Do I believe in these characters? I also tend to think in the back of my head, look at that imagination, look at the depth of thought that they put into the worlds, the rules of how things are built. It's really kind of hard at some point to separate that from the story itself. And I think a lot of people come and talk to me, oh, animation, oh, that's for kids. It's like, oh, you know, you're sort of offended because we make our films for us. We want these films to have substance. They should have some sort of life truth. We're going to work on these things for 5 years. They better hold some truth that makes us care and relate to them.